Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Agents to Owners podcast. Today, I have Kim Beach, owner of Village Insurance out of Mariemont Village, Ohio, and also CEO and founder of InsureWomen. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. Kim, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Brad. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about Kim and how you got into the insurance space?
Woo. All right. How much do you want to know is the question. So my career really was in television, kind of, in my after college years, and then I had kids and I did take some time off and then they asked me to come back. Like when my kids were in high school, they're like, do you want to come back to work at the TV station? I was like, wow, can I do that? Sure. Yeah, I will. Then we got bought and I don't know, things were just kind of changing. And I was like, all right, I don't want it to end like this. And my husband is a lifelong insurance guy. So, but he's on the life insurance side. Which is obviously very different than the P&C side. But he actually had what calls on P&C agents in the Keystone space, the Keystone Group space. So he had spoken with an agent who told him that Erie Insurance would let me start a scratch agency. So my husband came home and pitched this idea to me. And obviously being in life insurance, you have no recurring revenue. So he was always looking at the grass on the other side, being like, wow, recurring revenue would be great. So he pitched me on this idea and I must have been desperate. No, because I was like, sure, I can do that. I mean, you mentioned that we're in the Village of Mariemont. So it's just a small village on the east side of Cincinnati, probably about 3,000 people. And there was not a storefront independent agent here. And I've, been involved with my kids and civic things all these years. I was like, wow, yeah, I think that'd be great. I can serve my community, kind of at the end of my career and be part of the community and give back. And, I don't know. I just was like, yeah, I think that sounds like a good way to go off into the sunset. So, studied for my license, got my license, and then Erie Insurance appointed me. Thank goodness. Thank you, Erie Insurance. They are a wonderful company. Launched in October of 2018. So almost been 5 years. Yeah. I can remember when I started, I was like, oh, please God, just let 3 years go by. So yeah, it's been a journey. I mean, starting a scratch agency is not easy. You have to have super tough skin, and just learned a lot. That is for sure. But yeah, here I am, a few years later. I have a couple more carriers now, but Erie Insurance is still my main carrier that I turn to. So
now, what are some of the, I've spoken to quite a few that are Erie agents. What are some of the advantages of starting the Erie scratch agent program?
Yeah. Great question. They totally support you. Again, like I had not been in the insurance business at all. So they have district sales managers that she was on speed dial for me. Because if you can imagine, I knew nothing other than taking the insurance test. So, trained me, just really, gave me best practices and helped me with marketing plans, and also funded me. I mean, they have money available to new agents as well. So for that first year, you're not like starving. So yeah, I mean, they're a great company and just, really care about their agents. They have very strong relationships with their agents. And I feel like I owe them because of, they put me in business basically. And the Erie name, especially in Cincinnati, is very strong and, very strong around the country, although they're only in 12 states. But they were just ranked #1 with JD Power for client service and claims. And so they've gotten a lot of great recognition lately too, which is thank you, Erie. It all helps. So yeah, very supportive. Lots of training and, marketing help. So if there's anybody out there thinking about it, you can call me. I'll help you.
From what I've heard, I've heard nothing but great things with starting with Erie and that they do really, really support you. Yeah. What does that look like for gaining access to other markets? Do you have to get direct appointments if you want other markets? You do. Okay.
Yeah. So at one point along the way, I was like, okay, it's great having Erie, but I do need to have a couple other companies. So went out and got Safeco and Progressive, and just a couple. And I do also have, a broker that I can go through for things that I can't really, place. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So on the personal line side, or
No, more on the commercial side.
commercial? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And how long after that you started did you go after those appointments with Safeco? Was it right away, or did
No, it was about 3 years, I
oh,
want to say.
was?
So yeah.
Okay.
And so fortunately for me, Erie was very competitive in this market. So yeah, that is interesting though, but I didn't even think about it for a couple of years. And really the only reason I thought about it was because I was going to maybe buy another Erie agency and she had
Oh.
Safeco. So I was like, okay, well, I need to get Safeco. So I definitely had drank the Erie Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
It's blue, by the way.
Tell me a little bit about those early years and what that was like. Was it more difficult than you expected? About what you expected?
It was more difficult than I
Yeah.
thought. Yeah, definitely. And I think part of that, and we'll get to this eventually too. Part
Yeah.
of that was because, I know a lot of people. So I was like, okay, I have all these friends, like all my friends need insurance. So certainly they'll talk to me about it. But none of my female friends would talk to me about insurance. And it was really kind of painful because here I had started this business and I was selling something that everybody had to
Yeah.
have, and no one would even talk to me about it because they were uneducated. So they didn't want to look uneducated, I think, in the whole process. So that was really painful. I mean, like, even like, we're friends, so we can't even like talk about it. Like, I don't, and then they would never even ask me how my business was going, of course, because they didn't want to know.
Interesting. Interesting.
So I think that was kind of like the most painful. I mean, you definitely have to have thick skin
Yeah.
because there is a lot of rejection and yeah, just a lot of interesting things that go on. But yeah, it's, you just have to kind of keep going forward 1 foot at a time.
What did it look like you from, say, an automation standpoint? Did you get an AMS right away, or
No, I got QQ Catalyst because I
okay.
had spent some time with another Erie agent, and that's what they had.
Yeah.
But realistically, at the beginning, when all I had was Erie clients, that's all I really needed. I mean, I
Okay.
really didn't need it until I branched out to other
Right.
companies. So that's probably something I would not spend money on again at that early in the
Yeah.
stage. Although it did collect a lot of information that Erie. I mean, I can't get my fingers on with Erie. So yeah.
Wha
But yeah, I mean, as far as other automation, I'm a one woman band still,
Yeah.
so not anything, not any great, what do they call it? Tech platform or tech
Tech
stack?
stack?
Yeah. Yeah. The tech stack is very thin. Yeah. I do use a program or a software called InsureGrid, which helps me
Okay.
collect deck pages. Yeah.
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah. Yeah. Super helpful. I mean, especially with younger clients or younger
Yep.
prospects, they'll go through the software very quickly, where some older people are like, I don't know if I want to share my information that way. But yeah, that's been a game changer. Yes.
Yeah. Do you use a CRM?
Nope.
Okay.
Again, I mean, 90%, 85, 90% of my business is with Erie. So I can just go to their reports pretty much and pull everything. I know.
Yeah.
Am I antiquated?
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
No, and that's okay.
They're
No,
expensive.
there's
Yeah.
nothing
So
wrong
I
with that.
don't have a rater. I don't, I am
Yeah.
a very simplified version of an insurance agent.
Yeah. No, it's
But it
great.
works.
You're
It works.
probably much happier.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm my IT department too. So,
Yeah. Yeah. We use one advantage that
Oh, okay.
we use a CRM for is to help stay in contact with our
Oh,
customers,
yes.
help,
Yeah.
just help communicate if we want to get, quarterly messages that go out, or
Yeah.
cross sell, kind of an automated cross sell.
Right.
Um, it's
Nice. Yeah.
definitely there's a lot of good programs out there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that
One
could be helpful.
advantage. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get deeper into that. Tell me, so you are about 4.5 years into your scratch agency journey.
Yes.
What do you feel like's been the most challenging piece of it for being an agency owner?
Well, I have figured that out. Yes,
Okay.
it's being alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
Yes.
I am definitely a people person. So I have realized, and it's funny, I even was in some like webinar and they did an assessment about like, different things that you like and don't like about work. And it's like, do you like working by yourself? And I'm like, no, I don't. I mean, like when I worked at the TV station, I was a cheerleader. I was the birthday person. I was the like, let's go to happy hour.
Yeah.
So that I think is what I've definitely missed the most about. Yeah, it's lonely.
Yeah.
It is lonely. You have to create connections. Like I started a networking group, that kind of thing, and just really have to be very, you know, um, have to make sure that you follow up with connections and create these relationships so that you do have this interaction during the day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
A friend of mine, Stephen Turnbull, in upstate New York, also a scratch agent. He's in his first year. That's the exact same thing
Oh,
that he
interesting.
says.
Okay.
So maybe
Yeah.
you guys can connect in virtual high five
Yes,
or
we can be
something throughout the
friends.
day. Yeah.
I'm writing his name down right now. Yeah, and just like not having anybody to bounce things off of. I mean, like I said, my husband's in the business, but he's not in the PNC business. So yeah, it would be nice to like have like a group, of people it kind of in my similar situation, scratch agents, that kind of thing. So yeah, good idea.
From what I could tell, it looked like you were kind of really marketing yourself really as the local,
Yes.
independent insurance agent. So
Yes.
have you joined is there a chamber of commerce or
I didn't
groups
join
like
it.
that?
I started it.
Oh, nice.
Well, there wasn't one. And I was
Really?
like, yeah, I was
Nice.
like, well, we need a chamber here.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was the founder and first president of the Mariemont Area Chamber of Commerce. So yeah,
Cool.
so that's still going on. And then, are you familiar with BNI groups?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I tried to start a BNI group, but I could not get people around here to dedicate that much time to it. So we have a group that meets bi-weekly.
Yeah.
So it's a trimmed down version of BNI, but kind of the same, you have the same, I don't want to say demands, but same responsibilities as far as sharing leads and doing certain things. So yes, founded that too.
Yeah. Well, good for you creating your own networks.
Well, yeah, I'm like, okay, who am I going to sell to?
Well, and not to mention, I mean, talk about establishing relationships right away. I mean, you're the
Yeah,
creator, so has to come through you. I
yeah.
bet that's paid
Yeah.
off
Yeah, it has been,
already.
yeah, it's been good. It's been really good. It made a lot of good friends that way as well. So, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely in it for more than just the business part of it. So, yeah.
Knowing what you know now after, 4+ years in, is there anything you would have done differently to start?
Mm. Um, wow. Yeah.
Uh,
I would think maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that. Wow, that you stumped me. What would I do differently? I mean, I wouldn't pick another company.
yeah.
I wasn't ready to hire somebody right
Oh,
away.
yeah. No.
Yeah. I mean, cause I didn't know what I was doing. So I was like, I can't bring somebody else into this. I guess maybe, maybe just learning. This is what I would do. I think I would have like sat with more people to learn like what is it really like to be a PNC agent on a daily
Yeah.
basis. I
Yeah.
don't think I really knew that going into it.
No.
So
None of us do.
yeah. I mean, I definitely did not come in, eyes wide open. I mean, I was like, okay, here I am.
Yeah, and I asked that question because, I
Yeah,
mean, not because maybe you have regrets because it's so difficult starting out.
yeah,
You don't know what you don't know.
right.
And especially when you're just jumping in, and I think you look at it and go, "Well, that seems like a good idea, and I
Yeah,
like that
that's
recurring
me. Yeah, I
revenue,
mean,
and
yeah,
yeah, I can take
I'm a
care
little
of
too
people."
Pollyanna sometimes.
N
Yeah,
but you have no idea of the nuances of the insurance business,
right,
and then all that goes into it, and some regulation, and
right.
then
Right.
the
Running a
uh,
business.
running a business,
Yeah.
and even the customer response sometimes to insurance that
Yes.
you don't realize
Yes.
is going to be a challenge. So there's just so many unknowns. From the outside looking in, it looks pretty
Yes.
easy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is touching on that, which is kind of what this podcast is about, which is running a business as an insurance agent. What has surprised you, or what have challenges been as far as like a business owner piece of it, would you say?
Um, I it's interesting. In my community, I would one part of the problem is I am the independent insurance agent. So people come to me for
Yeah.
everything. Like,
Wow.
getting hit up right and for donations and
Wow.
volunteering and and just yeah, it's just been that's been interesting to me is yeah, that's been challenging as a business because people, they want donations, and I'm a small, very
Right.
small business, small business owner, and you want to
Well,
contribute and be
support.
part of
Yeah.
it. But it's like at some point, like,
You have a
okay,
budget.
well, and I have so many clients here too, so that I have a lot of clients coming to me asking me for, to donate or be part of something. And yeah, so that's been hard as a business owner to say no, and how to kind of strategically, make sure that,
Yeah.
they know I value what they're doing, but, I can't,
Yeah.
the well will become dry.
Yeah. Yeah. Any plans to add to your team?
Um, Possibility.
Hmm.
Yes. I need help in some way because I have grown enough that now I'm doing too much customer service. So yeah. So I'm kind of thinking, am I going to partner with another agency to take over kind of my customer service? Or yeah, or add to my staff. So yes, that is definitely kind of in the works for 2023. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
that's a whole nother level of
yeah. Business.
responsibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, which is good though. Yeah. I mean, but to grow, yeah, I mean, I can't do it the way I am right now because of the service responsibilities.
Mm.
So,
Yeah. Well, and at that point, if you don't, you're right. You can't grow.
right, right. And it's interesting because I am an independent agent and Erie is my main company. And you would think, okay, I can kind of do what I want, but Erie wants you to continue to grow. So yeah, so that, it's not, you can't just rest on your laurels and
Yeah.
just kind of cruise. Yeah. Which, as a business owner, you don't want to do anyway. But yeah,
No,
so
but there's a
there's
little
always,
pressure. Mm.
yes, there's always a little motivation. Yes.
Okay. How are you writing new business?
As far as marketing,
Yeah.
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 I mean, I do get a lot of referrals. I get them from my networking
Mhm.
groups and just from different people. And and after 4.5 years, I feel like I'm starting to get a lot from my
Yeah.
clients. I would say the one thing that I am not strong on and which I want to improve this year is communicating with my clients so that they remember that I'm in the business and can refer people to me. So yeah, so I would say, communicating with my clients is a priority this year. And in people, it's funny, even though people get so much communication, I think if you're not there, it's obvious too.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's important. I like to do like client, I've done like pool parties and, different things for my clients. So
Pool parties,
yeah,
really?
pool party. Yeah. Well, we have like a community pool
Oh,
here.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. So not at my personal pool. Yeah. No, we have a community pool. So, just so
Okay.
it's great. Yeah. So come to the community pool, cook out or
Yeah. Sounds.
whatever.
Wow.
And then
That's great.
we also have a local art gallery. So I've done like one of my anniversary parties at the local art gallery. So yeah, so it's important to me and to make sure my parents, wow, my clients know that they're important to me. Huh? There is a Freudian slip.
Do
But
you
yeah,
get I
so
know you're local and kind of in a small, area. Do you get a lot of people that are stop into your office?
surprisingly, yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So yeah. I mean, I just never know who's going to knock on my door. Yeah, I mean, I'm in an office that has a window, but people have to
Yeah.
come in through to get So it's always kind of yeah, who's knocking on my door? Yeah, and people will my clients will just walk by too and like, hey, I'm going to come in. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, which is it's a nice break in the day for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. It's always although, what we don't get as much anymore, but you
Yeah.
do have some people that have nowhere to be throughout the day. So, hey, Kim's there. Let me stop and talk to Kim for
Yes.
30 minutes. And you could
Yes.
very well be in the middle of 7 different things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
But
it's,
yeah, I don't know. If somebody's here, I feel like they need to be. So
yeah.
okay.
Oh, that's good. What would you like to improve on in 2023 to improve the agency?
I think I touched on this a little bit is communication.
Mm.
Just I don't have really a schedule that I've set up. So yeah, I don't know if I need somebody from LinkedIn to help me. I feel like LinkedIn is like the answer to everything. But yeah, I think, just setting up a schedule. I mean, I send stuff out for people's birthdays and, and definitely do, life insurance month and different things. But I think just having a more kind of, standardized schedule so that, people do see me every now and then out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So communication.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that, yeah. And it's so important, especially in
Mhm.
this market,
Mhm. Yes, because they
where,
get stuff every day from somebody.
well, that, and we just have to stay in front of them, with
Yeah.
rates going up, and we have to remind them that we're here and we're here for
Yeah.
them.
Yes.
And what can we do? I mean, that's something we've really doubled down on
Mm,
in my agency,
that's
is
great.
just the communication,
Yeah.
really trying to account round for
Mm,
any of those households that
mhm.
might still be monoline, and that's
Yeah.
been a real point of emphasis, just to kind of really lock up those
Yes.
customers. um, so yeah, I'd like to pivot a little bit to, I think, what your passion is. In 2021, you started InsureWomen.
Yes.
Tell me what that's all about.
Whew. All right. Yeah. So I think I mentioned like when I first started, like none of my friends would talk to me about insurance. So then I kind of was like, okay, like women don't like insurance. I get it. And then I don't know. I just really started kind of helping like some women in my office, like divorced women, widowed women, like younger single women that maybe had moved to Cincinnati and didn't have somebody to, to guide them. And I really liked like, the woman market. And I'm like, well, I'm a woman. I really, I like calling on women. So, maybe like single women so specifically, like, because I was thinking like, okay, my married women are not going to talk to me. So like who has to handle their insurance? Single women. So I was like, okay, I
Right.
I think this is a good niche for me. Like I like it and they need me is kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
Because I also felt like in talking to them that they felt underserved, sometimes marginalized by their agent. And I didn't like that. I was like, that's, I don't want women to feel like that when they're paying money for a service, basically.
Yeah.
And then I kind of started looking around like, wow, certainly there's somebody out there doing something for women in insurance. Like, it's like serving this market is kind of what I was thinking. Like, there's got to be somebody serving women in the market. Nobody. I mean, there's nobody that has a marketing focus on women. No big companies, no aggregators, nobody. So I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, so then I just launched it in 21, as you mentioned, just kind of for myself locally. Like, I'm just going to launch it here and see what happens, and I got good feedback. But the more important thing was, or kind of the crazier thing was, I started getting calls and LinkedIn messages from
Really?
all over the country. Yeah, from female agents, from companies, from associations. I mean, like, what are you doing? And I was kind of like, well, I just saw this need to serve women in the insurance market, so I just decided I'm going to launch this company. So then, I just had a lot of conversations in 21 with, women, just all kinds of women all across the country. I mean, Hawaii, Alaska. There's an
Hmm.
InsureWomen in Ireland, so just started having conversations just like the one that we're having right now. Like, how'd you get in the business? How'd you get in the business? Like, what, I mean, just what do you need? And so then in 22, I have a son who's in the insure tech business. And he's like, Mom, he goes, you can't just keep talking to people. Like, why don't you put a dollar figure, like figure out a product that that you can have that people will pay money for. So you can really gauge like how much interest is there. So I decided I sold founding memberships for $99.
Okay.
Yeah, so I launched on International Women's Day. But fortunately, I've gotten some incredible press. I mean, I've had an article in Rough Notes. I've been on lot podcasts. I was Insurance Business of America Elite Woman in 2022 and 21, I think. Yeah, I didn't even go for it in 23 because I was like, I don't want to see my face again. Um, but and that again, that just tells you too, like how limited the women are. I mean, that are engaged in this whole business. But yeah, but really just wanted to focus on independent female insurance agents. And then, so my big like idea, and this came after watching the McDonald's movie Founder, because Ray Kroc did not come up with McDonald's. The McDonald's brothers did, but then Ray
Yeah.
Kroc was like, "Oh, we need to have one of these all in every city around the
Yeah.
country." And we watched that during COVID in December of 2020, I remember, and I was like, "There could be an InsureWoman in every city serving these women that need help." So that was kind of like what I thought. So when I launched last year, that was kind of my intent, is to create this network of female agents all across the country that will serve women. Well, back to, I'm running an agency
Yeah.
and trying to do this. So I do have 100 women right now, so I mean, I have, made strides, obviously not as much as I want. And really the next thing would be to create a platform where they could all communicate. Like right now, they're all just on a list, and they're on the website, but there's not really a way for them to communicate with each other very easily. So there's a lot, so we do monthly meetings, our last one was on LinkedIn, because I think everybody that is an InsureWoman is definitely on LinkedIn and cares about their presence on LinkedIn. So I had a LinkedIn expert come on and helped us. So and just other thing, we've done a bucket list one. One of the InsureWomen has this bucket list challenge. So just different meetings about topics that women care about, female agents care about. So that's kind of where it is right now. We have a monthly newsletter. So yeah, not where I had kind of envisioned it when I started it, but that day job keeps getting in the way.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
where would you like to go from here with InsureWomen?
Well, I mean, really my goal would be to partner with a bigger company and really take the platform to the next level, where there could be education, there could be mentorship, there could be mastermind groups, there could, there could be an annual meeting of InsureWomen and, focus on the things that are important to female insurance agents. But also ultimately, I mean, because, my whole thing to begin with was to serve these women. So I eventually want to see that happen, where there is an InsureWomen and people know, kind of like, oh my gosh, the big I,
Yeah.
what's trusted choice. So it's kind of
Okay.
like InsureWomen would be trusted choice for women, so
So just so I understand this, right? So
yeah.
it is really a community of women
Mm-hmm.
that are catering to the needs of the woman insurance buyer.
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
okay?
That's the goal. Yes.
Okay.
And also maybe have, schools where women can become agents, schools for agencies to learn how to serve women, how to sell to women, I mean, the possibilities are endless, I
I
think.
love that idea right
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
of using that platform
Yeah.
as, of a recruiting tool to this
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
I mean,
And yeah,
because
I mean, job boards, focused on women. I mean, yeah, I, I have a whole deck I'm happy to send you on the possibilities of InsureWomen. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and I have to say, the need is there, because if little Kim Beach in Cincinnati, Ohio can launch this, and I've only been an insurance agent for at the time, 3.5 years, and get the response that I've gotten. I mean, because I haven't spent no money on marketing it. It's all been LinkedIn and, referrals. So, it definitely,
Mm,
there's a need. There's a need on the agency side, female agent side, and there's definitely a need on the female insurance buyer side. Like, because my whole thought is like, they just need to be educated, like, and like anything else, like education, confidence, and treated with the attention and the respect that they deserve.
yeah.
That's what I want to see.
I bet on LinkedIn alone, you could have and I'm sure you
Right.
have,
Yeah. Yeah.
so much success
Yes.
with marketing, and that seems like to be
Right.
a
But
good
like I said,
avenue.
I haven't spent any money
Yeah.
on marketing. Yeah.
Well, I've been to your website, and is it something where, I'm looking at it right now,
Yeah.
where I suppose you could, a woman could do a Google search and find out, I don't know what they would search necessarily. I'm a woman looking for insurance.
Yeah. That's the
I'm
hard thing. It's going to
Yeah,
take it's going to take some marketing muscle.
yeah.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
do see, that you have all your agents, spread out in different states and
Yeah.
all that sort of
Yeah.
thing, so you can
Yeah.
contact people here.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I've gotten business from it for sure. I mean,
Has this thing
yeah.
kind of just taken a mind of its own? I mean, you started locally and then decided to launch internationally in
Well, I mean,
2020
nationally.
nationally?
Well, nationally, if you launch nationally, that means you have a website.
Yeah. So you launched nationally in 2022. So last
Correct.
year, or
Hmm.
I'd forget
Yes.
the month that was.
March. International Women's Day is March 8th.
But it
Yeah.
seems like you had quite a few founding members, correct? Did you say
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
100?
I've got 100. Yeah. And to be quite honest, since I wasn't sure where we were going with it, I have kind of stopped kind of even asking people if they want to join. Like on all my LinkedIn posts, I used to be like, "Hey, if you want to be a founding member, click this link." I don't even, because unfortunately, we're kind of I'm kind of in this like, where are we going phase. I felt bad taking money from people, so I was like, okay, until we kind of get to this
Yeah.
next iteration of what it is, I would feel better, then we can kind of like, kind of kick it off with a bigger bang, and start bringing on more people. So, but, because the problem is too, I mean, my agency business kind of, suffered a little bit because I was spending so much time doing podcasts and, just spending time on LinkedIn and, different, just having a focus on InsureWomen. So,
Not to
yeah.
mention, you're probably still the president of your board of
No,
directors.
I I have been able to hand off both of those things. Yes, both the Chamber of Commerce is now not with me, and Route 50, my networking group, has a new president. Yes, so
I think there's something about us, as whether it's entrepreneurs or agency owners, that we always seem to want to add something to our plate, even though there's not necessarily room.
yes,
You know,
yeah, I have gotten better at saying no. Trust me,
yeah,
I had to, you know.
yeah, and
So yeah, so,
you do have to learn to set your limits with things, even though you don't want to, but you just know.
right. I
I've gotten
know.
to the point where if I don't think I can jump in with both feet, I
Mm,
won't do it.
yeah, that's a really good way to evaluate. It
Because
makes sense.
I don't wanna be
Yeah,
halfway in.
yeah,
I'm not good at it that way,
yeah,
and I feel like I'm doing whatever it is, an organization or a disservice
yeah.
by just being half involved.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
So, yeah, it's hard. It's something you had to go through. So on the back to the insurance side of things,
Hmm.
um, where would you like to take it from here? I know you said that Erie has placed, you want to grow,
Right.
and you're
Right.
facing a little bit of pressure from Erie
Yeah.
to grow.
Yeah. Which,
Um,
understandably, they want to grow. So,
what's your plan to get to that next level?
well, I think, like I said, either hiring
Yeah.
someone, I'm looking at that. Yeah, actually was looking to get somebody appointed with me, or actually merging or partnering with another company that can help me with the service work to free me up to be able to go after more business. So, yeah,
Have you
because
considered have you considered a virtual assistant at all? Or have you looked
no, I
into
don't
that much?
know. Yeah, I mean, I know about them, but
Yeah,
yeah. What do you think? Do you use them?
I do.
Okay.
And I'm someone that was extremely reluctant for a couple
Yeah.
of years.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's, I do have a service. I already had a service team, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting. Yeah.
and from a back end support,
Okay.
person, it's been outstanding.
Yeah. That's
You
good
know,
to know. Huh.
you may need,
Yeah.
more of a licensed person.
Yeah. Yeah. I need somebody talking to my clients. I
Yeah.
mean, they're not gonna, yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So you
It's
may,
not, it's not easy. I don't know.
no, no, none of it is.
I'm sure God has something planned. I'm
Well,
just kidding.
I'm gonna get this thing wrapped up. I want to thank
Okay.
you very much for
Oh,
taking
thank
the time
you.
today. I really enjoyed it
Yeah,
and enjoyed getting to know you and
as
ensuring
well.
or hearing more about Insure Women. I think it's an outstanding
I
initiative,
know.
and
Stay tuned.
I think it's
Stay
really
tuned.
impressive
Oh,
that you
thanks.
saw a need and
Mm,
started this organization, and it's well needed. So I think
yes.
that's kudos
Yes.
to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone else, thank you for listening to another episode of the Agents to Owners podcast, and we'll see you next week. Bye, Kim.
Bye. Thanks, Brad.